Okay, here we go.
So when you teach people how to do that with a meditative process, it turns out that when they're in their life, they're less likely to emotionally react. They're less likely to be so rigid and believe the thoughts they were thinking. They're more aware of when they go unconscious back into a habit, and that is what starts the process of change. Just because you have a thought doesn't necessarily mean it's true. So if you think 60 to 70,000 thoughts in one day, and we do, and 90% of those thoughts are the same thoughts as the day before, and you believe that your thoughts have something to do with your destiny, your life's not going to change very much, because the same thought leads to the same choice leads to the same behavior creates the same experience, and the same experience produces the same emotion. And so then the act of becoming conscious of this process to begin to become more aware of how you think, how you act, and how you feel. It's called metacognition. And so then, why is that important? Because the more conscious you become of those unconscious states of mind and body, the less likely you're going to go unconscious during the day. And that thought is not going to slip by your awareness unchecked. It means to know thyself. The word meditation means to become familiar with. So as you become familiar with the thoughts, the behaviors, and the emotions of the old self, you're retiring that old self. As you fire and wire new thoughts and condition the body into a new emotional state, if you do that enough times, it'll begin to become familiar to you. So it's so important, just like a garden. If you're planting a garden, you got to get rid of the weeds. You got to take the plants from the past year and you got to pull them out. The rocks that sift to the top that are like our emotional blocks, they have to be removed. The soil has to be tenderized and broken down. We have to make room to plant a new garden. So primarily, we learn the most about ourselves and others when we're uncomfortable. Because the moment you move into that uncomfortable state, normally a program jumps in. When that program jumps in, it's because the person doesn't want to be in the present moment and engage it consciously. So when you teach people how to do that with a meditative process, turns out that when they're in their life, they're less likely to emotionally react. They're less likely to be so rigid and believe the thoughts they were thinking. They're more aware of when they go unconscious back into a habit, and that is what starts the process of change. And so we have to unlearn before we relearn. We have to break the habit of the old self before we reinvent a new self. We have to prune synaptic connections and sprout new connections. We have to unfire and unwire and refire and rewire. We have to unmemorize emotions that are stored in the body, then recondition the body to a new mind and to a new emotion, like deprogram and reprogram. That's the act, and it's a two-step process.
I guarantee people watching right now are having like 100 aha moments. For sure, that was definitely the case for me as I was researching you. And when you said that, I was like, and that's the danger, that you have the aha and then nothing.
Yeah, and it is a danger, because then people will shrink back into mediocrity, and they'll use the insight to excuse them from taking a leap. They'll say, yeah, I have a chemical imbalance in my brain. Yeah, my father was really overbearing. He was a perfectionist. That's why I am the way I am. People, they come up with stuff to excuse themselves. The insight is actually giving them permission to stay limited. And it's an amazing idea, because they'll say to you that they really want to get over their anxiety. But let's take your ex-husband, let's put him in a straitjacket, let's duct tape him and shoot him to the moon. Now what? I mean, what are you going to do now? You still have to make those changes. And so when the person's enemy dies, or something shifts in their life, and that person's gone, they'll find another person to hate. This is just how we function as human beings. We just slide another reason to feel those emotions. So I think when people start to understand this, I think knowledge is power, but knowledge about yourself is self-empowerment.
All right. Stop sharing. There we are. Cool. Got you guys on mute, so you have to unmute yourselves.
That was good.
Awesome. Morning, everybody. Great.
Did everybody get a copy of that, the meditation I have from Joe Dispenza?
Oh, yes. Yeah. When did you post that? A little while ago. I've used that one before. It's amazing.
Yeah, I've.
Oh yeah, it was on. Oh, it's in your back office there in the. Yeah.
Well, I sent it out in Dropbox. It's the main one where he's explaining what the meditation is, and then it's got the morning meditation and the evening meditation.
Right.
And I offered it to anybody that wanted it.
Yeah.
I didn't give it to Mark, so it's not in LoveBoat back office. But if anybody wants it, just put their email here in the chat, and I'll send it over to you.
Okay.
Because that guy is excellent.
Cool. Yeah, he's brilliant. And yeah, I did listen to both of those, the morning one and the evening one. Yeah.
It's hard to get into the routine of taking 20 minutes before bed to do it, 20 minutes in the morning when you wake up to do it. I've only done it a few times.
Yeah.
But I do other things. I was telling Mark, this is quite a while back, that when I get up in the morning, well, for years, I get up in the morning, and when I'm in the shower, I'm washing my hair, and I'm saying, scrub those thoughts out, right out of your head, be positive all day. And just while I'm doing that, I'm thinking that. And I've done that for years, and I've never meditated. But recently now, as soon as I wake up in the morning, I put that thought of gratitude in my mind and think of 3 things that I'm grateful for. Number 1, I woke up.
Or fog the mirror, right, Potato?
Right. But I've noticed that by doing that, it does set your day in motion to have a more positive day.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And we don't have to think of meditation as sitting down in a whatever. Meditation is what you're talking about, in the shower, right, and thinking about thoughts, as long as they're focused thoughts,
Because I had always thought, not on the meditation level, but just being I'm half loopy from this pain pill. Just having yeah, you go ahead and talk until I think about
what were you going to say, Dee?
I was going to say, I really appreciate that message this morning, because I feel like the past couple days have been a real emotional challenge for me in different ways. And I've been able to process the negative thought, whatever is, triggering me emotionally, and have a breakthrough. One, this is really wasting my time and distracting me from my goal. So I need to process this faster. And I really felt like that was a huge breakthrough in comparison to before, where I might have just got stuck in that, spinning wheel of whatever. And then again, like he said, it was and then rethinking, okay, so, and what I ended up coming out with was okay, so when you're getting ready for a major success, there's going to be all of these challenges that are stretching you so that you can handle it. Because if you can handle the little ones, then you can definitely handle the bigger that's coming. And then I feel like coming in this morning and hearing this was just a confirmation of that. And it just is really encouraging, which is right now so important, because I feel like when you're trying to build a business, there's so much negativity that we have to fight through, because we're breaking new ground, basically. Even if it's been done before in network marketing, for us, it's still a new ground. And so we have to find those wins and be able to recognize them, and then be encouraged by them to persevere. So I just wanted to share that, because I really appreciate you sharing these videos every morning.
Awesome, that's cool. And have you followed Joe Dispenza before?
I do. I have his book. I have an audiobook of his.
Yeah, he's a master at that. And you're right, starting any new project, especially the one we're doing here, it's all about new habits and new following new systems and doing new things that you never did before. And to me, that's the biggest battle. It's not how to prospect on Facebook or build up a friends list. It's how to get the work done and how to schedule it and not have your mind keep taking you out of it all the time. Constantly. And it's there's always something better to do. Everything's telling you, well, you're wasting your time, or this way is better, or that way is better, and this didn't work. So before you've even tried it, let's do this, let's try this, let's try that, let's try that. And you're never going, you're never even getting anything done. So yeah.
And this is where we need the words of wisdom from Tom.
Yeah, Tom. Hey, good morning, Tom. I see you there.
Good morning, Tom.
That's cool.
Must be driving.
I like how he says that not all of your thoughts are true. So even though you got thoughts in your head, they're not really true or accurate. They're just thoughts in your head, like this is not going to work or something like that. That's not a true thought. It's just a thought in your head. And then once you get to know your thoughts and be aware of them, then that's knowing thyself. So, and once you fire and wire new thoughts and new habits, then you can achieve what it is you're trying to do. Like this, but you have to create those new habits. And I worked with a psychologist, a brain psychologist, for actually I met him in Los Cabos here on the, at the restaurant, and we became good friends. And we ended up talking about a bunch of things regularly on Zoom. So that's cool. But he's a brain psychologist. But what he told me is those are actually physical neurons in your brains. You're diminishing the old habits, and it's actually a physical thing in your brain. And then once those die out, you can build new ones up, like in there physically. And he was saying it takes a while to kind of fizzle out the old habits and bring in the new ones.
I was just going to say, this is not an overnight thing. This is continual for a long period of time.
Work. And to me, this is the most important part of the work, to make a change and try something new and create something new, like what we're doing here,
And I never really, for the first couple of years, probably 3 years of doing this, I never really concentrated on mindset. And it does take the correct mindset before you're ever going to make that first big leap.
Yeah. And then what we're doing here needs consistency, a lot of consistency over a long period of time. And like he says too, your mind always wants to shrink back into the old habits, what you were used to doing, sitting on the couch, doing stuff you're familiar with, not doing new stuff you've never done before. And then, and so no matter how much you keep moving forward, your mind always tries to keep moving you back to the way it was. Oh, that was the easy life. That was a lot better doing it that way. What things that I knew how to do, not things that are new and hard and things I don't know how to do. So, yeah. So that's cool.
And the world gives us so many excuses on why we could take the easy way out. It's a pandemic. Oh, people aren't working. People are stressed. Like all these reasons that would easily justify why we could take the bow and maybe even be the bigger person for it because you're so considerate of people's situations. But that's really just lame excuses on why we can shrink back, Right. But they're definitely available.
Yes, I get that every day. I keep thinking the world's going to end if I'm listening to the news. And what's the point of doing this if the world's going to end next week? That's what my mind's telling me. I'm wasting my time. The world's going to end next week. Why bother? That's crazy thinking. But if you keep listening to everybody in the news and what's going on, and I think there's a lot of stuff going on out there in the world that's a scary thing, but you just got to be trudging forward with what we're doing and believing in it, helping others generate income and helping others. And why improve your health if the world's going to end next week? You don't have to do that either.
That's true.
That's crazy. So yeah, you have to constantly battle that thought in your mind about this whole lockdown and pandemic and food shortage and no jobs and inflation and economy and gas prices.
Tom's off mute now. Tom, give us some motivation here.
Yeah, hey Tom. Cool. Yeah, so I think feeding your mind every day is so important with positive thoughts like what we're doing here, and it's I'm finding the difference even after we've been doing this so many days in a row now. My brain is conditioned every morning to new stuff, new positive stuff.
And that was part of what I was saying, like yesterday being out of commission yesterday and real easy for me today. And I even crossed my mind, the heck, you're in a little bit of pain. You didn't do it yesterday. One more day is not going to hurt. And then I said, hey, no, you've got to get on this call today and get back. You're not hurting that bad. Just sit there. All you got to do is sit. You're not out walking around. get back into it today. Don't wait another day.
Yeah. Yeah, because then it's harder to push that rock up the hill too. Once the more, yeah, you just, and that's your old habits and your old thinking and all that, and then
Exactly.
you're back to where you were, and now you got to build up to get into the new routine again. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's why I like these calls every morning, actually. And for me, I have to be on here, so that's good. It is good in a way. It's forcing me
It's
to be
the
on.
Don Show. You have to be here.
Yeah, I gotta. Anyway,
Well,
it's been
listen.
good. I've enjoyed it. So, and it's benefiting me because of that. You know, I get to be on every day. Cool.
Somebody mentioned the other day that I'm trying to get that branding done through the Oct4 or whatever it is. And I thought once you made that video, that the process took over and put it out on all those different medias. Well, I think was you, Tamara, that said, no, there's another way that's quicker and easier.
No, I was talking about
Yeah, it
that
was Brady
because
was
so many
talking
people
about
come in and they're confused, thinking, "Oh, I can make a video and it's automated." No, it's the training is showing you how to make the videos, what type of video to make, how to strip the sound, how to build out your podcast, your YouTube, and spread it across all the social media sites. But you have to manually do that. But once you know how, and you've got it structured, so hey, I'm gonna do this, it goes pretty quick. But then I was talking about JS and Click eCourse, because he's got a program in there where you can put your video in, hit a button, and it will make everything for you. It will make your pictures, it'll make your 1-minute video clip. It'll do all that for you, but you still manually place it into the social media platforms.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now I'm even more confused
Oh.
because I watched that first video, section 1, that Mark has on making the level 1 and level 10 videos. And I watched that whole process, which is over an hour, as you know.
Yeah.
And I never really, he never really is clear about making that 2 videos until the last. And but I thought once you made that video, you just put it in Oct4 or whatever it is, and it spreads it out.
The Octo content model.
No, it's not set up as automation.
No.
That course is a training course of the how-tos,
How
but
to do
not
everything.
automated.
Yeah. So you have to. Yeah, you're right, Brady. It shows you how to format all the videos for the different platforms, how to strip out the audio so you can send your video to a podcast, which doesn't have video, you know, so it just gets the audio. And then, but you have to set up a syndication kind of worksheet so that this is what you're going to do every Friday. You're going to create one piece of content, and then you're going to strip it out 8 different ways and send it to 8 different platforms. That's why it's called Octo, for 8. And then it goes to everything. So then you've got the same video basically on 8 different platforms every time.
Yeah, just so you get more reach and more eyeballs on your content.
Yeah, all
Or
going
your
back to your
ears.
link or your website. So you're driving all the traffic from everywhere back to your
And that's why I was saying and trying to impress the fact to Potato that is not the number one thing to do. The number one thing to do to start building your brand is get out of your comfort zone and do videos, whether it's a live video or a pre-recorded video, and then you syndicate it. But number one, start doing videos to build your brand. Yeah, I think that's number one. And building relationships after the fact.
The other thing is you could outsource that work. I haven't tried that. Mark
Like on
says it all.
Fiverr?
Yeah, on Fiverr. So as long as you know what to tell them to do, which is right in the course, you could pay them $5 and figure out how many hours it's going to take them, and they could do it. So you don't have to do it, because it's a lot of work chopping things up and getting it out there. So then you're right, Brady. The biggest task is getting the video done, the value content, and it's and formatted in a certain way so that
it's value and there's a little bit of a call to action in it.
Yeah, because you don't want to just, I'm going to do a video and you sit there and talk about, whatever. People don't want to hear that. They need some type of value.
Yeah.
And in Potato's case, your video could be horses,
Yeah.
blah, 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 horses. And this is what I do with my horse, short, condensed, maybe. And that's what you do, is just videos about horses. And people that know horses will get the value out of it.
Brady, do
Well-
you have a list of all of the specifics about the dimensions of like the video?
I have that somewhere in my computer because most of it's in my mind. But I do have the list of how to put together your daily method of operations doing that, which is actually a weekly, however you want to look at it.
It's like the different dimensions, like for
Right.
LinkedIn, it's one way. For the podcast, it's another dimension. I mean,
Yes.
all of that in one sheet.
Yeah, I've got it somewhere.
Different
I'd have to
lengths
dig
of
it out.
videos, different lengths of videos, different size of images for the thumbnail. Every platform is
Yeah,
different.
your
so-
intro and outro and
Mhm.
That's why I
And,
thought that Octo 4 did that automatically for you.
no,
No,
That they take the whole video and break it up for you.
no,
Mhm.
Mike gives you the guidelines on what you need to do all
Yeah.
that, but it's not
But-
automatic.
But saying that, you could send those guidelines off to an outsourcer and pay them a few dollars to do all that tedious work.
well, and rather than doing that, you use the Clicky course from JS, and he wrote the program for it. And it's really neat where you shoot your video, put it on YouTube in a private, but you take that link, put it into his program, hit a button, and it does
Okay.
all of it for you.
That's really
Then you-
great.
Mhm. Yeah, maybe
And I'm
Who
gonna
does
be
this?
I will be having a meeting with him, and if I set it up with him where he can explain exactly how this works, we can have a meeting with him, and he'd love to show you. Of course, there is a fee for getting into Clicky course overall,
Yeah.
but he's got a pretty good setup. man.
Mhm.
You
Brady,
keep
can
saying
you-
he. Who do you mean by he? Not Mark, huh?
No, not Mark. This is somebody else that knows Mark very well. He's just not in LifeWave.
Yeah,
Can you put in the chat how much it costs, Brady?
I'm
Can you put it in the chat?
I don't know the exact price. I was
Okay.
supposed to meet with JS today at noon, but I canceled with him last night because I didn't know how I was going to feel today. If I can get a hold of him and still have this meeting, I will, and I'll get some numbers from him about
That's
this.
excellent.
You just give us the link.
Let me find out from him because his overall Clicky, he calls it Click-E course, is a whole platform with courses and programs within it. And you pay for the whole thing, but it is set up on an affiliate deal also. So if you want to come in, I'll make sure I give you my link, but let me get some specifics from him. I haven't spoke with him for a few months. I don't know what prices have changed. But he's also got his new group hacker thing going on. He coded out a program that will find groups for you, find people within the groups, and you can start communicating with them. And that's what I was going to talk to him today about.
Okay, cool.
That's
get
really
with it.
cool, Brady.
Yeah.
And either way, I think what you're saying, Potato, is that it's important to get this stuff out there. You know, the videos out there, however.
Yeah,
we're
it's
gonna
it's
do
great that you're thinking about it,
Yeah,
but you know,
get it out.
you still have to make your
But see,
video.
I'm only on Facebook pretty much. I have a Twitter account and a LinkedIn account, but I never really use them. You know,
Well, the Octo content, when Mark presented that, it was a branding course so that
There you
you
go.
can set up all platforms within your brand. So it's all consistent with each other. And then when you shoot your video, you can shoot it out to all the platforms, but you want everybody to come back to your website is where you're sending them to. I mean, it gets a little bit confusing, and for one person to sit and watch all those videos, unless you're doing the work as you watch the video before you move on to the next one, it's worthless to sit and just go through, I don't know how many hours that is, probably 24 hours worth of video.
because we had like a week after the meeting to do the work before the next meeting.
Yeah, and that took
Right,
what,
that's right.
24, took 20 weeks or something?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, a week's worth of video and
Do the
then,
work.
And
Yeah.
see,
then a
and
week's
this is
worth of work.
why,
Yeah.
this is why anymore I would tell people, don't dive right into that. Just because you came into LifeWave and you want to make money in LifeWave, don't jump into the Octo content so much thinking that's going to help you out. Yes, it will help you build your brand, but there's other things you can be doing now that's going to get you better money-making results than sitting and watching videos and making a website and shooting videos and
Right.
putting it out there.
Yeah, that's something you do in the background in the off time.
Yeah,
And Potato,
kind
I
of.
think with your stuff, you're already branded. There's no, you don't have to do anything in that sense. So maybe we could get together after, Brady, and talk about specifically what.
There's really only one way to do this for everybody that is very interested, and that is for me or Mark or somebody that knows how to do it, to put on the course week by week by week, so new people can learn how to do all this, because it can't be taught in a day. You can't do all the work in a matter of hours. You know, it's a 2-hour video. You got to watch it, understand it. Then you got to start shooting your videos. Then you move to the next step.
Yeah.
So it can't be done in a matter of a day or a week. That's something that progresses over time. If you don't have a website, if you don't know anything about branding.
Mhm.
But when you watch other people, Eric Worre and all these people, and they say, do this, this, and this, these are actions that you can take now that will, as you're taking these actions, be building your personal brand. But in Potato's case, you've got an excellent website.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that. Get that off your mind.
And the whole
Constant-
purpose of branding is so when you talk to somebody, they already know who you are because they've
Yeah.
watched your stuff.
Yeah, and they'll
That's
say,
what
oh, that's Potato. That's the horse guy.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Because we even know you. Now we're going to listen to you, whatever you have to say.
Yeah, if you talk about
Oh, yeah.
horses, and all
1
ears.
minute warning. Okay, who sent that? Beat it. Yeah, we got 1 minute talk on it.
Uh-oh.
But yeah, let's continue this conversation again.
Well, if you want to, everybody close this up, we'll
Yeah, we
jump
can
right
jump
back
to-
on, and let me just hit go, and we'll start this video because it'll take
Okay.
almost a whole Zoom time.
Okay, so I'll just restart the Zoom again once
Okay.
it quits, and then we can jump back on if we want to, and and you can go over those details. That's cool. But yeah, but it's been great. It's always great. We're always talking about some good stuff, and I think it's important to make those 2 small clip videos so we can talk about that tomorrow too. Those are important that you can send out some messages.
Well, if we watch this video next with Jesse Lee and
Okay.
Frazier, it's going to
Cool.
explain that real quick.
Okay, awesome. So
Bye,
we'll say goodbye
Jan.
right now. Okay.
Bye, Jan.
Bye, Jan. See you, everybody. Okay, awesome meeting, guys. See you, Tom. We didn't hear from you, but that's cool. See you next time.